For centuries, there have been stories told of a giant hairy beast that walked upright being sighted in the area. These tales go back to early Native American stories, as well as French explorer Samuel de Champlain's writings about a giant hairy beast that he learned of from Native American guides while traveling through the area in the 1600s. In the 1800s, there are references made to sightings of what were dubbed the Wild Man, and these events have continued to present day. In 2004, Whitehall passed a law prohibiting hunting the beloved mysterious Bigfoot creature. The town is now seen as a Bigfoot sanctuary, where these elusive creatures are celebrated and protected by the community. According to the Daily Gazette, one of the most credible sightings in modern times occurred in August of 1976, when 3 teenagers reported seeing a strange creature in a field off of Abair Road in Whitehall, New York. Ryan Goslin, a Whitehall police officer, responded to the call and witnessed an unexplainable creature on Abair Road, making it one of the most credible sightings ever in the area. We are joined by local researcher and historian and author Paul Bartholomew as he takes us to these locations and explains what happened during the spike of sightings in the mid-1970s, now deemed the Bigfoot Capital of the Northeast, Whitehall, New York.
Say hi. You say hi. Yeah. Sheriff Chewy. Yeah! You happy? You almost ran into the rock. Jeez. It's only been a week.
How you doing?
What's up, brother? Okay, we are at the very beginning of Lake Champlain in Whitehall. Boom. Well, Whitehall is a pretty small town, but it does have spectacular views. Entering into the Adirondacks and Lake Champlain.
True too. Social media is different, changes things. It used to be in the newspapers, and now it's you know, it might be a social media.
Yeah, that's where that.
Yeah, creature just where they're getting the school bus. Oh well, can't do much with it. You know, it was a quick sighting, but it just shows that it's perpetual, continual, and you may get a stretch where you don't get much, and then it gets filled in the next year. Happens a lot.
Got some nice shots from above, the beautiful town of Whitehall. Now Paul is taking us to the infamous Abair Road, where the Abair Road incident occurred with the police and a creature. And it's not too far away.
That's where the telephone pole used to be, where that bush is. And you'll see there's a little red marker in front. That's actually there so they don't hit the stump when they mow it and stuff.
Oh.
So that was the line of poles. walks by that. That's August the 24th, 76. And then the next night, Paul Goslin's brother, Brian, who was a Whitehall patrolman at the time, had a sighting on this side of the road with another law enforcement official. So that would have been August 25th. And then an offshoot of, the next offshoot road would be Gould Road, and then Carver's Falls Road. And on September 1st, 76 is when there was the shooting incident on Carver's Falls Road. And that seemed to be the culmination of the sighting. Of the outbreak, I should say.
Wow.
Have there been any like sightings or reports from that in the surrounding area? Or?
Oh yeah, Cliff Sparks was a year earlier at the country club. He had it in May of 75, and we got that sighting because Cliff was a good friend of the family. And Cliff saw a creature on green number 1, and the creature was concerned with his dog that was in the cart with him. And the creature is staring at the dog while Cliff is looking at the creature. So the creature wasn't interested in Cliff.
Right.
Cliff was on one of those golf carts that you would ride out to about 11:30 at night. And so Cliff got to see this vision that very few people have seen this close, you know, here to the side of the road, of the vision of the creature. And he described it as red glowing eyes, like short dots coming out like lasers pointed at the dog. Wow. And the dog, that's usually rambunctious, just went subdued over the edge of the cart. So that's one of those characteristics that a lot of the mainstream researchers don't want to hear. But that's what happened. And Cliff stuck to it. And if Cliff was going to make something up, he's not going to add that in. So.
Oh, wow.
Go this way.
Very interesting. 70s were hopping with sightings. Huh.
Unless you lived on the road, nobody knew where the hell it was. But if you can imagine Channel 6, Channel 13, all from Albany coming up, flashed on the front page of the paper. That was the paper at the time, the Post-Star. I mean, this was huge news. So,
Yeah.
and it divided the town because the town was, this is bullshit. No, this really happened. And then you had people like the law enforcement people that couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
And there's even a sort of a schism between like Brian and his dad over what it seemed, because Brian said Wilfred said he saw a tall shadow at a distance, and Brian said, you know, and then Brian had his sighting the next night. I don't know how close Paul and Brian about fell off. 2 hours.
Oh my
And so I had a limited time. There was no time to go get somebody with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I had to go get it then, or it wasn't going to get it.
Right.
So I sawed off a good chunk of it and sent it up to Lauren, and I've got a couple of chunks at the house.
And that was, and then when they filmed Finding Bigfoot, that was like right before they took it down then, right? You cut it during the filming or right after?
After they had filmed it. So we're here, and Matt Moneymaker sees the NIMO truck pull up, National Grid truck pull up.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, you know the history behind this pole? Because he was kind of interested in what everybody was doing. They're doing the B-roll, pointing to different things.
Yeah, of course.
And Matt gives this detailed description of what the pole represents. And the guy goes, interesting. He says, coming down tomorrow. So when you see it on the film, that's literally the last time it was filmed standing.
So you heard that and you're like, I need to come back here later and get a chunk.
I knew it was going to happen soon
happen.
because the owner over here, school teacher, Bob Deichel, he had told me that they were going to move the poles, but it was just timing. They were here just in time. It was literally down maybe 11 hours later.
Wow.
So I came up and I got the chunk.
Nick of time, bro.
I got the chunk, and then I got pictures of it, and I think Cliff Barrickman took like the number on it.
Yeah.
And I got the marker used to be about this big. It was pretty sizely, and over the years it would just break off.
Yeah.
So it's about this big. I have it in a case back there with the original nail that held it in, and little sawdust and stuff from the pole. So they could. Cool. Matt offered to buy it, but he said they couldn't sell it because there's chemicals in the pole,
whole pole, yeah.
And so they have to destroy the poles.
Oh, that's a bummer. So. At least you guys snuck a few chunks.
Yeah. Lauren's got the biggest chunk up there.
Get the museum. Yeah, good. Yeah.
The horse was fine the night before, and then they find it dead with the lip gone, the eye gone, and the ear gone. Now you go, okay, well, soft tissues, but there wasn't enough time. He was seen the night before. There's not enough time for the eyes. I've seen. Right. I grew up on a farm. We'd haul calves out back that had died, and it might be a week before we can get rid of them. I've seen them how it decomposes, the bloating, and then the foam and stuff. It takes time. This was all within like a day period.
Wow.
And, yeah, this used to be all just bushes and a barbed wire fence, and no houses. No, none of these houses. And so green one is straight out. You see that flag straight out?
Yep.
So that's where he was with the golf cart all alone with his dog, and the creature was standing right there. So when it turned, it went into that clump of woods, which was a little more dense back then.
Wow.
So that would have been May of '75. So that's just a little more than a year before Abair.
I think that's new. The Sasquatch. Was that the Sasquatch at the golf club?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's the statue. That's the 5th statue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Done by Steve Meshton. He did the one at the Soapstone, the two at the Soapstone. If you were a law enforcement unofficial, you didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So none of that. There was no conspiracy.
The whole idea just seemed a little out there for some reason.
Yeah, it all started with the whole promotion towards it being better, or people being able to talk about it, was with the legislation that came in, and then that brought in the documentaries, and then brought in the festival, and so it sort of was a metamorphosis.